I have this very curious part of my personality. My mind is very curious, but I also have this side of my mind that is very skeptical. So I love trying new things, exploring with all kind of things, but in a way, I'm always kind of like with one foot out of everything until I try it a few times and I see if it works for me. But I'm definitely like I get excited about trying new things and I get very passionate and yeah, a lot of the times I'm super passionate and I try something for a while until I realize like well, this doesn't work. But I have to say that I love that part of my personality, but it's in everyone. We all can be like that, get passionate about something, try it and explore and see how it feels for us. And if one day we see that it doesn't work anymore, or maybe um, we grow out of it, like maybe we're ready for something else, right? So yeah, just sharing that that's been something that I enjoy about my personality. And if you feel inspired, just know that you can be like that as well. It can be, this can be an invitation for you to be explorer and try different things in your life. So I explore a lot with spirituality, with neuroscience. So I've been doing a lot of different meditation modalities. I share on my videos that I grew up with a Zen monk dad. So that was the base of my relationship with meditation. But my mom, she comes from a very more from like the new age kind of things in spirituality. So yeah, I was exposed to many different modalities. But like I'm not gonna say that is this is gonna be the case for everyone, but in my case, like of course I appreciate my parents, but I've been very rebellious as well. So I always wanted to find my own things, like okay, I'm influenced by school, by my group of friends, by my parents, but what about me? What do I want? What do I really think about things? So I think that's been most of my life, like in the last 10 years. Like, okay, I get it. I learned these amazing things from you, but what about me? What is going to be my thing, right? So I shared also my videos that I found yoga in my personal practices, my spiritual practices, and exercising, music has been also my way of connecting with other, especially electronic music, house music, has been my way to connecting to other realities, to connecting and to create awareness that there are other realities, that humans we can experience other um dimensions. Oh, there's states of mind, that there's more, right? Art and music have been my outlet to explore that, yeah, we can connect with other things, that we are not just humans that do 9 to 5 lives and drink alcohol on the weekends, right? So hypnosis has been one of those meditation modalities that I've been playing around with. And there was a time that it worked very well for me, and I had a lot of visualizations. And I learned today that it's very easy, and that's exactly what happened to me. One day I decided, like, okay, I'm not getting any benefit from these meditations. This is bullshit. So I put it on a side. I was like, I'm done with this. And I learned today that what happened when I decided to stop doing hypnosis is that I was trying to control the experience I was having with hypnosis, right? So meditation, you're supposed to be in this very relaxed state of mind and body and everything. But in the moment, and I wasn't aware of this, right? In the moment you start trying to predict what's gonna happen, when you have expectations, what your body is experiencing is contraction. So you're controlling. um, and there's of course without even realizing that that's what I was doing. Of course, I was controlling the experience, and I wasn't having results. I wasn't seeing any images, or I wasn't getting any information from this meditation. So when you don't control, when you don't have expectations, when you are relaxed and you trust in the experience, you are in this place of expansion and love. And of course, when we are in those states, those are the states where we can receive. And the same thing as when you are on mushrooms, or when you use substances to access to other states of mind. As I've been saying on my videos, we know for years that you can access to those same states without the substances. So hypnosis and meditation is the way how you can access to these states. I know there are mediums and people that are open to these other realities all the time. That's like another territory for me. I'm not, I don't know much about how their psyche works, but so we're gonna be talking about people that don't have those abilities at a very high level, right? Like people that are like you and me. So through meditation, you start accessing to, if you close your eyes, and it's different for everyone. So when I used to close my eyes, immediately this is 4 years ago, I would see a lot of images. I'm a visual person, so it was just super easy for me to see, almost like a movie. I would close my eyes and I would see a cat or doing something graphically in a space, right? So because I was controlling the experience, I stopped seeing those visuals, and now I just have feelings. So that's another way I learned at this experience today, that there are many ways how we can experience a hypnosis meditation. It doesn't have to be that we see images, that you can still get the feelings, right? But we have to trust it, and we need to know that yeah, it's not only about the visuals, that you can experience other sensations in your body. Anyway, so I had this very amazing, I'm gonna say for this video, hypnosis experience today, but it was the first time that I did it very intentionally after 4 years ago that I used to do it very often. And I just want to share a little bit of where I was before the experience, maybe a little bit of what I experienced during the meditation, and where I am after, and maybe I'm going to start talking about where I am after, because I was like, it's a really amazing way how to create different perspectives for your life. I feel like in the wellness industry, people that are working on themselves, people that are doing, I'm very tired of talking about healing. I'm just super done with the terminology in the wellness industry. But yeah, people that are doing a lot of healing on themselves, usually when you start noticing patterns and dynamics in your current life, in your day-to-day life, what you want to do is to go back in childhood and find the trauma or the experience, that the root of the experience that created this pattern that is presenting in your life at the moment, right? And that's super powerful. It is super powerful. I'm not gonna say that you need to stop doing that. Continue. If that's working for you, continue doing that. But what I found out today is that going in your subconscious, especially I wanna say for creative people, what a wonderful, because I feel like most creatives, we already know how to interpret images and feelings into other things, right? But that's exactly what we do, right? We're translating feelings into images or physical objects. So it was super wonderful because what I saw in the hypnosis, in the meditation, I came out from the meditation feeling like, well, that doesn't make sense. Once I wrote down, it's so magical. Once I wrote down what I saw and what I felt, everything started making sense in a way that the fantasy, let's say the fantasy story I experienced on the meditation, there's a version, a very accurate version of that in my life. So maybe I will have to give you a little example, but yeah, let's get into it. It's a super sweet story, what I saw. I'm gonna get very vulnerable here. Oh God, this is super. Yeah, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but let's just do it. I saw, and it's the second time that I have the understanding that in a past life, and it doesn't have to be, I feel like I'm a very romantic person, and I love, creativity. So it sounds romantic for me to think that we have other past lives. You don't have to believe that, the way how you can approach it too is that something that you have in your subconscious, because if you are seeing it in the meditation, it's not like you are going into someone else's mind or subconscious. It's your own subconscious. That's what's coming up for you from your own mind and from your own experiences, associations, feelings, thoughts, right? So what it came up for me, which again is the second time that I have that understanding, is that, and listen, I'm gonna say this, and this is probably gonna sound like, oh my God, who does she thinks she is? Like, I have heard from many people, if we think about the concept of humans having past lives, I have heard from many other people that they were queens and kings in past lives. It's not like, so you probably were also a queen or a king in a past life. So it's the second time that I see very clearly that I was a very powerful queen in a past life, but the visual this time, it was very special because it was a queen that transformed into a spirit of the forest. So I saw, like, I don't know if you guys watched The Witcher. They have a lot of these characters that transform, I don't remember the name of this character, but he is a spirit or a monster from the forest, and she's actually like a tree. So that's the character I was in my story. I was a very powerful queen that transformed into spirit of the forest, and the feeling was that I was like a very wise character, and I start nurturing or getting a lot of energy from fire. And it made me think about, of course, after I woke up from the meditation, it made me think about the movie of the Lord of the Rings. So when I started seeing the power and the fire, I knew it was the feeling of being very powerful in that scene. But the fire was dark as we see it in the Lord of the Rings. I don't remember the name of the place where they have to drop the ring, right? The lava from this place. Can't remember of the name of this kingdom, but it was that kind of fire, So I was feeding myself from this red ball of fire that was on top of a triangle. And right after this image, I have a visualization of the moment I'm, what's the name of this? The coronation, when you, no, I'm making that up, but the day that the queen gets the crown. I'm sure there's a term for that I can't remember at the moment, but now you know what I mean. So the coronation, I think it's what we say in Spanish, so maybe I'm making up some words here, but it was a very disappointing experience. I wasn't feeling happy or excited about getting the crown on my head. Nothing outside looked in the visualization. I remember being disappointed because everything was ugly, and it was like, I know I deserve more. I want things to be pretty, but they're not pretty, and I want this day to be a happy moment, but it's not. Right? So the three big visualizations I had was the queen of the forest, the wise queen of the forest. Sorry, 4 visualizations. Then the queen feeding from the dark fire. Then the day I got the crown on my head, being disappointed and literally feeling very miserable. And the last visualization that was the most impactful and the most beautiful was that from the very dark orange and red fire, now I'm playing like a genuine kid playing with fire, but it's a lighter color. It's not dark anymore. It's almost like when you think of when you're lighting, a candle. Some candles, the flame sometimes is very dark, and sometimes is I'm trying to think about examples, but I know you have the image of a light fire and a very dark fire. There's probably a scientific way, why, an explanation why sometimes fire is dark and why sometimes it's lighter. I don't have it for now, but I just want you to have the image of a ball of that light fire. It was a massive ball, and I could see my face playing with the ball, but it was like a love moment where the ball was in my face and I was just in union with that fire, but it wasn't the dark fire. And it was a feeling of expansion and love and connection and unity. Unity is a word too, right? So that's how I finished the visualization, the meditation, the hypnosis, and I came out of that and I was like, okay, that's like 4 very different moments and feelings. Like, what is this about? Like, of course, because I like the Lord of the Rings, of course I was going to see images from that movie. No, your subconscious is way smarter than your conscious mind, especially because I think we are only the 5% of, or we're only, how can I explain this? We spend only the 5% of our time in our conscious mind. The other 95% of the time we are in our subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind is where everything is. Just know that. I'm not gonna go in other direction. I know that I get usually distracted with my stories. The thing is that I was like, this is kind of bullshit. I started writing down, and that's when the other part of the experience happened. Writing down. I might have to record another video about the power, and or especially creatives, I think you're gonna relate a lot with this. There's a lot of power, and maybe I'm gonna do a little research so I can give you an amazing video explaining the power of writing down your ideas. Wow, that's when I started seeing the connections with my real life. So the perspective I'm getting now, I'm gonna start getting vulnerable, is that even with all the inner child work all the inner child healing I have done, all the work on myself that I have done, none of these tools gave me the understanding why I have, in a lot of situations in my life, very big expectations. Like, I didn't know where that came from. So by using the example of this story, it gives me a lot of compassion, one, right, of understanding why I have this big oh my God, like I was a queen in another life and I didn't get the party I wanted when I got my crown on. And I was a sad queen because I was first this wise spirit of the forest, powerful, the wise queen. Maybe that's not the way I want to say it. Yeah, I was the queen of the forest. I had all this power in the, let's say, like the warrior of the light energy. And seems like I started playing with power and I became this queen, unhappy queen, right? So of course, if you came from being a queen in another life, you're gonna come into this life having these very high expectations of things. What if I can have a little compassion first for that queen that is not getting what she expects? And then you start integrating the fantasy story into your life, right? And you start deciding how you can then create your life. Okay, if I don't have, in the moment you remove, because I feel it in a lot of my, and maybe this is video one from this story, maybe I can create a video two where I can share after integrate this experience how things are shifting in my life, because now I'm like, okay, I see the place in my body, in my heart, where I come with these very high expectations of many things, relationships, experiences. And probably what's gonna happen now is that I'm gonna go to the humble, wise queen of the forest that doesn't have those big expectations, let's say. Oh my God, I'm getting very vulnerable here. But yeah, why not? Maybe you can also learn from I'm sure you can relate. Like it's not a very we all have layers of this. Yeah, I think the big lesson here is going back to that place we all came from, that humbleness, the human place. We all are and are born as that powerful queen of the forest. We all came from nature. Yeah, I know that sounds a little crazy, but when you are a little baby, you don't have any of these ideas of power or how to control people, or those are things that we learn through different experiences in life, right? So the beautiful thing is that the whole visualization is showing me that at the end I'm able to, what's a good word for this, transmute, alkalinize to transform the relationship with the power. And I think that's something you also can relate to. We all have the ability to do that. Oh, so beautiful, right? So how can I still be the queen or the king? How can I play with fire, right? I mean, and we can say that, how can I, not playing with power, but how can I reframe the power you get from fire to how you can transform it into light? Yeah, how you can use the powerful energy there is in fire to transform it into light, because that ball at the end, the one that I was in love with, it was light. And light makes sense that, right? It's if you think about the sun, right? We get the light from the sun, but if we go and see the sun from very close, it's a freaking ball of fire. Okay. That's honestly all I have to share for today, but I was very excited. I think it was very, very beautiful. And if you feel inspired, if you have questions, I would love to hear. If you have any experiences with hypnosis or past lives experiences, I'm dying to hear from more people. you know, how you experience it, how you have integrated the experience and how you're using it into your life. I'm definitely going to record a second part of this video telling you, you know, after this experience, how I notice any changes in my life. For now, I hope that maybe you got inspired and you learned a little something, and who knows, if maybe you can also create a little change, you can improve a little bit areas in your life. For now, thank you so much for watching. Again, you're part of this journey as well, so thank you for being part of this journey, and until the next video, peace and love.